Yes, basically, that's exactly what I said. We all need to have a place to live. We all need to have that security, that safety, that we need to know that tomorrow I'm going to be fine, I have something to eat, and I have a place to live, and I'm okay. Now I can explore something else. Now I can actually talk to my friends. I can actually start expressing myself, social realization of sorts. Now I can devote myself to creativity and something more than myself. But those things come first. So you have to concentrate on those first. People cannot make money because there are certain rules in the society. We are living in the monetary system. We are a money society right now. And there's a huge problem with money. People are really confused about money. And it's been like that for many generations. This whole economic theory that we're living in, like practically every country, the way that they live, they based it on this really wrong economic system. And I can talk about it for hours to just explain how wrong it is. But I suggest you to read different economic theory by Silvio Gesell, for example. He's a German author from the beginning of 20th century, and he explains money the way it should be. And there's so many other different authors who write about money and what they are and what it is actually, and how to actually make money. And many people are confused still because they're not educated about money. Nobody teaches us in school about money, what it is, and how to relate to it, and that money is essential part of our society, but it's not something separate from us. It's not something that has value that is separate. So the whole system is really deeply faulty right now. And that's why it's so hard to overcome this system, because people do not understand the system. In order to overcome something, you need to learn what you want to overcome. So you have to put yourself outside of system in a way. You have to find ways. You have to learn the system. You have to find its weaknesses, and you have to understand your strength. And then you can get out of the system. Then you can realize how much more powerful you are. So why is it hard for people to make money? It's because of the overall mentality. You gotta understand, we are a human collective. We're not just one person, and everybody influences everybody. If you are raised in a certain way, and most of us are, majority of us are, we have this mentality of poor people's mentality, they call it. And we're thinking in a very specific way. We were raised and trained to think in that way. We perceive ourselves as this small guy, small girl, small creature trying to climb somewhere, instead of understanding that there are other ways of doing things, other ways of looking at the world and the money and everything. So first part, why people cannot really make a lot of money, is they do not educate themselves about the money, about the nature of the money, what it is. What is this stuff with the money? They have to start thinking in a completely different way. In order to think in a completely different way, you have to become a whole new person for that. And that requires change within yourself. You have to change completely. You have to look at the world in a completely different way. You have to go through this stage of growing up in a way. Makes sense? Yes. Basically, a person needs to go some kind of metamorphosis. And I have a good example for this is, think about the difference between the caterpillar and the butterfly. They're one and the same being, right? But what is the difference? Everybody's born to be a caterpillar. And this is a perfect analogy as to where we are as a society, as human beings right now. We are this caterpillar. We're born into this world, and we're crawling. We're crawling everything, and we perceive everything from this one perspective. I'm here at the very ground level, and all these things are there. You don't see the choices, you don't see your options clearly, because you're thinking in a completely different manner. So for a person, in order to become this butterfly, you have to think like a butterfly. You have to be a butterfly. You have to go through complete change of your personality, complete change from a caterpillar who crawls to a butterfly that flies. Ask yourself first, do you want to fly like a butterfly? How much freedom do you have at that level? What kind of thinking might butterfly have in comparison to caterpillar? How wide is butterfly's view? It can fly anywhere. It thinks in completely different terms even. And that is a huge difference of thinking. That's a whole paradigm of difference of thinking. So in order for you to actually live like a butterfly, you have to transform, you have to go through this metamorphosis. And what is metamorphosis? Look it up in the Google. It's a complete change of the structure. You're inside, you're being inside, like everything, all these neuron pathogens that you have in your brain, the whole perception of the world needs to change dramatically. You need to start thinking not from like, oh, I'm here, I need to get there. You need to start thinking in terms of, if I'm there, what would I need to do to be here? How did I get here if I'm there? You see, it's a completely different point of view. You're thinking in different terms even. So it's really hard to explain to you how does it feel to think this way. You only understand it when you go through this metamorphosis yourself. But in order to even start this metamorphosis, you have to make a decision. You have to make a commitment. It has to be really important to you. It has to be a number one priority in life. You need to want to be there. You need to want that freedom as a butterfly has. Otherwise, you're just gonna crawl all your life. And if this is your choice, it's okay. Nobody's telling you it's wrong. It's just, don't get upset with people for flying, because this is mostly what caterpillars do. They're like, oh, how dare those butterflies fly so freely? How dare they? They must be doing something silly or illegal to fly. But they're not. They're just butterflies. They're just like you. They're the same being. They just transformed to the point that they're no longer even resemble you. They're so beautiful. They're so free. But it's just the choice. It's your choice to go through that transformation or not. It's a commitment. Are you going to still listen to your devil on the left shoulder who says, no, let's do the same way. Let's crawl to that tree instead of fly there. Let's crawl there. Or you can just say, you know what, shut up. I'm going to do it. I decided to do it. I'm going to do it. And that's the difference between those people who make money and who don't, who achieve something great in their life, who realize their full potential, or they don't. I hope you understand the point.